Hello everyone, it's Nick Lawson with CDC Take Charge Software, and this is our 8th session on building an improved desktop for the Microsoft operating system. In our last session, we looked at event trapping and error code handling and how that's used to keep your application healthy and to control flow of your application. Today we're going to look at another important process, which is controlling user input. Anyone that's worked on a computer has seen the little boxes that pop up, and they may provide a message back to the user, a warning about something critical is about to happen, or ask for input from the user. These are referred to as dialog boxes. Now, by definition, a dialogue is an exchange of ideas or information, and that's what the programmer is doing when he presents one of these boxes to the user. Now let's look at some examples. On our Start menu, on the File Utility side, if you've been following along, you know that we have the ability to tag multiple files and folders by using a tag system and then perform utility functions against that list of files. What we have not seen is how that's done with just a single file or folder. So let's look at that process. So I'm going to take and open a folder. Now I'm going to select a single file. Okay, let's say I want to copy that file. I get my first dialog box. As you can see, it basically provides some simple information about what I need from the user. And then here's their choices. Copy the file, move the file, or add it to the file tracker. We're going to copy it. Once I click continue, I get another dialog box which is now looking for a location to copy the file to. And as you can see, it can be anywhere on the network that the user is using. Well, we're going to select the local folder. We're going to go down to temp. Click OK, and away it goes. It's done. Now let's go take a look at it. If I come down here to temp, and there's our file kkfix1.zip. Okay, now let's look at another dialog style box. So I'm going to select my file, and then I'm going to hit rename. Now here, the dialog box basically looks the same because we want it to be uniform. And what we're asking for is, what do you want to name the file? And if you so choose, do you want to move it to a new folder? Now what will happen is if they change the name but leave the folder the same, it simply changes the name and leaves the file where it belongs, or where it was. If they change the name and the folder, it takes and changes the name, then moves it to the folder that they selected. Or they can leave the name the same, change the folder, and it'll move the file to the new folder with the existing name. So you basically have three options that are going on. We're going to take and do the most extreme. We're going to change the name, and we're going to change the folder. So we're going to navigate to our C drive and select Downloads. Okay? Then click Continue. Away it goes. It's no longer in our temp folder. So now let's go look at Downloads, and when you scroll down, or actually there it is, kkfix 2. So we've changed the name, it showed up in the new location, all is good. See? Very simple, very elegant. Not a lot for the user to have to think about or to do. It's a dialog box that has a specific purpose, and it accomplishes that perfect purpose very easily. Now, let's take and look at our file organizer, because we have some more stuff going on over there. So we come in, go down to our file organizer. Okay, as you can see, we have a lot of movies in here, and it's all media type files, so we don't have anything else. So let's add a file to our organizer. I'm going to add file and select add, but I can also take and create a new document with the file organizer so that once it's created and opened by whatever application used to make it, we have it stored from the very beginning and can track it from that point forward. So add file. Click continue. Now we get another dialog box. This one looks a little bit different, and I'll explain that in a minute. So we want to take and put in a file type. Well, all we have is media, and this is going to be a word processing file, so we want to add that. There you go. Now we need to select our file to track, and we're in My Documents. So we're going to go over here, and I believe it's going to be New Take Charge Features Doc. Okay, there you go, and then continue. Now there's our file. Okay, if we were to take and click on Open in Windows Associated File, it would automatically open it in the program it was written in. But let's say we want to take and add a new program that we can use to also manage that file. So we click Add Program. Now, this is a form that's been converted to be a dialog box. The reason I'm presenting it this way is I want you to understand and see that the form part of form, function, and features is very important. If you were to design your application and have one form looking one way, another form looking another way, a third form looking another way, the user is going to say, my God, this was created by a 14-year-old, and they're not going to be very impressed. So even though in itself this isn't necessarily a bad design, it's a little garish, but it's not really bad, it's not what we want because it doesn't fit into the overall design. So rest assured, I will change it. But now let's look and see how it works. So I'm going to click on Add an Application, and I want to take and use my drop down, and I want to grab Word Processing because that's the one that we want. Now I'm going to pick a program that I can open it with. So I've got to go to my C drive and go to Program Files, come over here, and I want OP Programs. There you go. See if I can bring that up. Here you go. All right, and I'm going to select SWriter. Okay. Now I can change that name so that I know what it is when I'm looking at it, and save it, and it's in. Okay. So now if I select my word processor or Apache Writer application, okay, I can say I want to open this in Apache Writer. There it is. Pretty cool. So now you're not limited to just using the file that created or the program that created a file. The user can then choose from one of the many. Now typically they're going to have like one or two word processing files and spreadsheet applications, but when it comes to graphics and images and movie files, there's just tons of them out there, and we don't really know which ones they prefer. And if they haven't taken the time to tell Windows what they want to associate their files with, this gives them the opportunity to do as many choices as they want. All they have to do is change what application they want to open it with and then click Open With. Very cool. Simple features. Now let's look at some of the code that we've done to create these dialog boxes. Here, close this out of the way. This is the dialog button for renaming a file in the Doc Manager. So first, what I have to do is I have to set some values. Now, CNAME is the name of the location of the file the way it exists right now in the table. RNAME is the name that will be on the dialog box that they can change the name to. And path, XPath, is where the file is currently located. Then we build our dialog box. Now, if you've looked at the help on xDialog, there's lots of sophisticated things that you can do with an xDialog box. But they don't have to be complicated. This is very simple. I create the box, I set the gradiated background, and then I just hard code the text that I want in it, and I use a very simple font equals and color equals to control the output color and style of my font or text or my box. Then I have the part where I have my information that I'm requesting. So I have my text object, enter name, and that's set to a width of 60, and it's XR name, which is my variable up above. And then I have change target path if you want, and here I'm using a pointer and a UE get path, which pops up and allows the user to select a folder. And again, that's set to a width of 60. In the region, I have a line above and a line below, and then I have my buttons. Okay? And then a message below that, or footer text, that tells them they can cancel out just by clicking cancel. Now, if they click continue, this is a little different than how Alpha Software shows it. Basically, I'm doing nothing because I'm passing those values, and I'm going to work outside of the dialog box in managing the code. So if they select cancel, then I set XR name to blank, and once I start to take and put in the code, if XR name equals blank, I end. Otherwise, I perform my function. So here, I set my target path to equal path, and I make sure that it does not have the backslash at the end of the line or of the text string. Then I say if the two match, then I'm doing a change of the name only within the existing folder. Otherwise, I'm either going to change the name and the folder or change the folder, and whatever the case, I'm going to move the file after it's reset to the folder that the customer or the user has indicated. Finally, I take and update the table information in our file tracker so that in the future we know that that file has been moved to a new location, and it can then be accessed from there without having to take and figure out where it was you copied or moved it to 6 months ago. That's it, folks. A very simple process that we looked at here, and dialog boxes are very important, as is the overall design and function of your application. Thanks a lot for stopping by. If you want to see this code in detail, go to our blog at cdctakecharge.wordpress.com. It'll all be laid out there. Have a great day.